Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Wilford. I'm the Clinic Director of ADHD Specialists, a multimodal treatment facility for adults with ADHD, kids with ADHD, teens with ADHD. I run a very large diagnostic and specialty practice that's psychiatrists, psychologists, educational advocates, coaches. Really, we're like a one-stop shopping for ADHD. So we have a lot of experience in listening to what people need when they find out that their child or their partner or their teen or even their college student has ADHD. Very often we find that the good news is you have a diagnosis, you have an explanation. The bad news is you have no idea what to do next. And as parents, this is often a very real part of the regret that comes when parents find out that their child has ADHD. They often wonder, did they do it right? And more importantly, what do they do now? Now that they have a diagnosis, how do they deal with difficult feelings? Maybe feelings of shame about having a broken child. It happens. Talking to your partner about something. And maybe each of you have a very different conceptualization of, is your child broken, or are they wondrous? Are they something to be admired, or a child to be feared? I mean, let's face it, ADHD kids take up a lot of room in the house. That's just how it looks. And parents, I get calls all week long saying, help me, what do I do? I need a little support, I need a little something. I had a mom call me recently that just said, I need to hear another person's voice that's not my kid screaming. Can you just stay on the phone with me for a minute? And I think that's really what it's like to have a child with ADHD. I'm very comfortable in recommending someone's services. Her name is Gabi Klaf. And Gabi works very well with parents and families. This is what she does, this is what she understands. This is really her life passion. Because for me as a clinician, I work primarily with parents in diagnostically understanding maybe how things happened, or what's going on in the brain, or how can they cope with the school, or different things like that. Very often parents say to me, what do I do tomorrow morning when I wake up, my kids are screaming, my other two ADHD kids are having a fit because the older ADHD kid is screaming, my husband wants me to do a bunch of things, I haven't even gotten dressed, and the bus is going to be here in 5 minutes. And I don't have any lunches prepared, and I got all three kids screaming. What do I do? Welcome to life in the ADHD jungle. This is exactly the kind of stuff Gabi Klaf is fantastic at. Her approach is, look, these kids have a tough go at this life. They have an issue of thinking, of understanding, of maneuvering through the world that's frankly kind of amazing. And when parents can learn to see their kids as wondrous geniuses, frankly, that are getting by with so much work for so little payoff, that's actually pretty fantastic. And that parents, very often, they can hear me say that in a message, but let me tell you, in that story I just told you about the mom and the screaming kids, you're not thinking wondrous right about then. I'd be thinking, where's Gabi Klaf? That's what I'd be thinking. And what do I do, Gabi? I've been known to consult her and say, how would you do this? What would you say, Gabi? How would you tell this to the kid? And also I think it's really important to realize it's not all about your children with ADHD. Listen, it is no easy job. Whether you are a parent, partner, a family member, it is not easy. And you never really know what you're doing anyway. Then you get a diagnosis of ADHD and everything works backwards. It's really tough. That's where I go to Gabi's website, I'll give Gabi a ring, I'll ask her in person, what do I do now, Gabi? How do I maneuver through this really tricky thing? And I want to still love my kids, because right now maybe I don't feel that. Maybe I feel frustrated, maybe a parent's calling me, pulling her hair out, and there's deadlines to be met and projects that have to be had, and really real consequences. And these parents really get help from Gabi, because what she's able to do is she's able to slow down and quickly, that's kind of the key. She slows you down quickly, fills your soul up with resources, and gets you on your way in no time flat. Because I have to tell you, as a clinician, I don't always have an hour to sit with a parent and say, let me tell you what to do, how are you feeling about this, here's some different options you might. I need to be able to point, shoot, and fix. And then what I like about Gabi is she takes into account that takes parental resources that are often limited. You've got to face the reality that when you have an ADHD kid, they require so much more often than other kids do. And it can be really depleting as a parent. So often when I get parents that say, I've got nothing left, I want to throw my kids out the window, I want to quit my life, I want to run in the bathroom and hide and hope that maybe I can get to my bed and get to sleep in time that when I wake up tomorrow morning, my child will not have had a fit in the middle of the night, will not have gotten into trouble, I won't be getting that weird phone call. All these kind of walking on eggshell behaviors, that tells me that you need Gabi, because your family is mixed up and turned around. What it usually means is as a parent, you're low on resources, you're low on inspiration, you're low on motivation, and you need solutions. You need hard-hitting, say this, do that, don't do this, and think this kind of solutions. That's what Gabi Klaf does. I love that she's a phone call away, or a Skype away, or a visit away from my parents and my practice, feeling better, and also just knowing what to do. And the other thing I have to just quickly say about Gabi is, I have ADHD myself, and I know what it was like to grow up unmedicated. And you can feel like a failure, you can feel less than, you could feel like a flunky. You often hear, you're not living up to your potential. Sometimes I feel like if I hear that one more time, I'm going to pull my own hair out. And what I love about Gabi is that she really sees ADHD kids on medication or off medication as wondrous little geniuses. And when children start to see themselves that way, they want to do well. Kids are not bad kids. Kids aren't doing well because they don't know what to do. They're green, they've never been here before, and they're looking to you for leadership. Well, this is why I really appreciate Gabi, is that she doesn't make it about broken kids, because I can relate to, feelings of inside like I was a broken kid. Luckily, my parents were leaders. My parents were strong, inspired leaders of the family. But not everyone gets that easy of a ride, and that's where you call Gabi Klaf. I feel very confident in recommending her services. I think you'll like her outlook, and I think she'll help you get re-inspired. So maybe what you thought parenting is going to look like when you took the baby in your arms at the hospital starts to feel again like what it might be like in your house today. So feel good about using Gabi Klaf. Thank you.